Friends, I have some confessions to make because I have been lying to you all. During Tour de Fleece, when I was spinning this yarn, I said that I had no particular project in mind, which was of course a lie because I chose this specific fleece for a very specific project. But that was just a small lie. A second lie that I have been telling you for years now is that this guy, yeah, he's actually not my husband. He is, as of now, still my fiancé. As you might have gathered from the thumbnail and the title, in this video we are making my wedding shawl / cape. Now, as to the why of my big lie, I've got a couple. Firstly, we've been engaged for so long, literally since the beginning of the panini, that it just felt as if we were already married. And then secondly, the internet is a strange place. When in the very beginning of my channel there was no mention of a husband, I did get comments that told me that I should present my videos in a bathing suit. Yeah, you know, in patriarchy, sometimes it is a lot safer to just tell the world that you have a husband. Especially if he is 2 meters tall. And also, if I just said that he was my fiancé, then a lot of you would be very excited to know when is the wedding? And I didn't want to tell that we are lazy and weren't planning a wedding yet. We are planning one now, and it will be at the end of February, around the time that you are seeing this, even though it is now July. And because February is a cold month, mostly, I don't know how climate change is going to affect our wedding, I'm going to make a nice woolen shawl or cape, mostly cape. I think it's going to be a cape because I'm not a shawl person, not at all, not a shawl person, but capes, yes, capes. Especially if it has like a little bit of a medieval or Lord of the Rings feels. Like I am being so frustrated with this cane over here. And my skein winder as well. Will you please firstly stay on the table, and then secondly, what are you doing? That is why I lied to you. Actually, just to protect myself from internet creeps. That's the biggest reason. What is actually the point in spinning 5 big chunguses when afterwards you have to ball them up in small balls because your ball winder can't handle the chungus? Bragging rights, probably. Bragging rights. Let us start on the single most important knit that I will ever do. Nah, that's an exaggeration. Don't put so much pressure on me. It's just a wedding cape. But let's start with it. It is in any case called the Callan cape, designed by Mistea Crafts. It has the cables, the medieval feeling. Let's go for it. It's been a while since I updated you on this project. I fear it might have been since cast on. I am now 44 rows in. And I think the main reason why I haven't updated you yet was that I was feeling not quite sure about it. I think up until this point, over here, I felt like it wasn't good enough to be a bridal item. You know what I mean? It looked really messy and chaotic. And even though I am very messy and chaotic, does that mean that I have to look like that on my wedding day? Not entirely sure about that. But now that I've gone a little bit further with the cables, it looks like the magnum opus of knitting that you would expect a bridal item to be, or that I would expect a bridal item to be. Now, another reason why I might not have updated you is that this pattern does not have a chart. And my friends, my lords, ladies, gentledames, that is torture for a visual person like me. I have lost my mind many rows ago. So I'm just going to continue since I've already lost my mind. Maybe I will find it along the way. Also, right now I'm at a point where this cape is already more than 400 stitches long. It's September now, and I need to have it finished in February. This is going to be quite a challenge. Anyway, let's attach my third skein of yarn and continue knitting. And with skein, I actually mean the third, cake that came off my ball winder. Do not fret, this is not already the third skein of the Suffolk, because that would mean this cape would be a capelet, for I only have did I have 5? Or did I have 4 skeins? Oh, I can't remember. I will have to rewatch my entire Tour de Fleece playlist to remember. You could do the same thing if you want. Anyway, yeah. Just looking at this makes me think that I will feel like a medieval fantasy princess elf. That's kind of what you want, right? When you're getting married, you want to be a medieval fantasy princess elf, goblin, all the stuff. Oh, so you thought that in this video I would just be knitting my cape? Oh. Well, let me tell you. If you're a bride that is like the slightest bit creative, there are so many expectations. Like, you surely are going to draw the invites yourself, right? Of course I am. Like, I'm a creative bride. That's what I do. But I kind of also feel that it puts quite a bit of pressure. Especially, I have gotten the question about sewing my own dress so many times. No. I want to have my fairy princess moment in a shop with my mom. And my mom wants to buy a dress. She doesn't want me to make it. So yeah, at least I can live up to one expectation, being that they will get like unique self-designed invites. It doesn't help that I'm right-handed. But here you have my drawing. I'm working with colored pencils. It's a drawing of my husband and myself in kind of fantasy medieval garb. My husband and I got to know each other in our historic Dutch class. We are both history nerds. We studied medieval history. So I wanted to portray that a little bit. But then also, like, it's not entirely perfectly medieval. It also has like a fantasy element, Tolkien style. Yeah, that was my thought process. Dries and I, we met when we were 18, in the first 3 weeks of our first year at university, actually. We will get married on our 13th anniversary, well, of our relationship. And that is the 28th of February. I don't know if you're into all this kind of romantic stuff, but he proposed to me on November 19th, 2020, and that was on the Chesley de Berry's Menil, which is very fitting for us history nerds, because the Chesley de Berry's Menil is a university reconstructed site that tries to show how a Celtic era fort looked like on that site in the Belgian Ardennes. Now he kind of also proposed a second time, and that was on Palamos, on the Spanish coast, on the 19th of November 2023, when we were 3 years engaged and hadn't planned anything yet. So it was like a proposal of let's get married for real this time, like let's start planning. And then we picked that date of the 28th of February 2025. You know you're a crafty bride when you enter the bridal salon to choose your wedding gown and you say, no, I do not have a Pinterest board, but I do have a shawl that it needs to fit with. Yeah, I was the absolute pest of the bridal salon. I did manage to find a dress though. It was weird because like my family and everything, they expected me to have more emotions about it and stuff, and they ask you, do you feel like a bride? And in every dress that I fit, yes, I did feel like a bride, but not in the dress that I effectively picked. I didn't feel like a bride. I felt like me. And it fit with my scarf, with my cape. It's not a scarf, it's a cape. Oh my God, it's going to be a glorious cape. Look at it. And it is absolutely crazy in width right now. Luckily, I do not need to do any more increases on it. Increasing is done. We are at full width. I am, however, curious how long it takes me to knit one row. Let's time that, shall we? Let's time that. $19.5. That's actually not too bad. I had expected it to be more. Well, the current row that I was working on didn't have a lot of cable action going on. Maybe that's why it was faster, because I would have guessed like half an hour at least, if not 3/4 of an hour. But 20 minutes, yeah, and it's now the end of October. I still have until February. I'm almost halfway this cape, I think. I have anyway given up any kind of measure of making sure my husband does not see me working on this cape. That's not going to be possible, so he knows there is a cape. He knows what it looks like. Hasn't seen my dress or my shoes. I have my shoes since today. I ordered them online. And I'm like kind of mad about it. No, that's not the right word, but like I have had in mind for as long as we have been engaged, and you know that it is approximately 4 years, to buy American Duchess Gibsons. And now that we're actually getting married, they're kind of throwing the Gibsons out of their assortment. And now they were like dead stock, and I bought the size closest to my feet, but it's too big, so I have to like put like insoles in my wedding shoes to make them fit. I don't even know if you're actually interested in stuff like that, but now you know. It is now mid-December, which means that there are less than 3 months until the actual date, the actual wedding. I am stressed. For very many things, not including my cape, because I would of course never ever procrastinate on such a thing like this. Never would I ever, right? The audacity if you ever accuse me of something like that. In fact, we are approximately at row 90 of this, and I think there are approximately like 120 rows, so that's pretty good, right? And I don't know if I have nagged about this enough, if I have pressed upon you the severity of the matter, that it is a completely written out pattern without a chart. And I did not lose my sanity even after 90 rows of this. I might, however, have done a couple more rows than needed. For example, this bit of this chain is longer than this bit. I think I did 2 rows too much over here. But who is ever going to notice? Nobody. Nobody. They will all be dazzled by my beauty. It is looking, of course, a little bit frumpy because it still has my knitting needles in there and it cannot flow the way it wants to. But it is also looking quite impressive, I'd say. My wedding dress has pretty special sleeves, so maybe, I don't know, is it getting too long? Nah, we want a long cape, right? Long capes are cool. Long capes are cool, and I don't know why we ever stopped wearing them. Now, since I'm going to get married, that kind of means I also had a bachelorette party, or, well, most people don't have it 1.5 months in front of their wedding, but I did because that's the only time that all my friends that I wanted to be there could be there. And they organized something really cool, actually. We went to do a silver clay jewelry workshop. So, didn't know that that was what we're going to do, but now I already have my jewelry for the wedding, I guess. This is what I made. Can you see it? Very good. I have a pair of earrings with like dandelion seeds, the flyaway seeds, as some kind of structure in them. And I made like a matchy necklace. Like, you know, a little bit classy, a little bit abstract, but always with a hint to nature too. And you know, dandelions, I think they're just very amazing flowers. So yeah, suddenly I have my jewelry. Oh, I'm so nearly done with this. I think there is 6 more rows and then we can do the braided border. It's getting pretty heavy. Whew. But I am filming right now, not because of the 6 more rows, but because I've got a little something. I found on Etsy, of course, a nice little cloak pin that will not take away from the intricate cables of my cape, but also reminisces a motif that is in my wedding dress. I think that's pretty cool. Maybe I shall try it with my cape, even though my needles are still in there. Let's try for a moment. So how does that look? Like pretty fantasy princess, witchy, goblin, regal, right? Ooh, yeah. Also some fun details that I want to share, because right now we have kind of finished like the mass celebration of our wedding. I only still need like a final good to go from our officiant, from our priest, but like the entrance music and the outro music is Howard Shore concerning hobbits and the breaking of the fellowship. And I'm looking so regal. 6 more rows, then the braided border, and then I'm going to decide whether or not I want to do the hood as well. But right now, this is looking so nice. Friends, it's done. Here she is in all her might and glory. Could almost be a skirt. But like the stitching and everything feels really tight, especially also on the borders. The borders in here in the middle, they want to flip over, so let's block it. It's a little bit too big to go into a sink, so bathtub it is. The size of this is becoming an issue. It's got my blocking mats and then extra towels, but I feel like it's still not enough. I'm going to be real honest. I didn't expect it to relax this dramatically. Like, look at the cables. Those were chunky cables, right? What are they doing looking so elegant, Gothic cathedral-like? I mean, this is probably why most less chaotic knitters block their swatches. So yeah, if the neckline is going to be effed up now, it is all entirely my own fault, and I will have to find my own solution to deal with it. Anyway, it is looking rather majestic and cool to look at right now. So I'm giving you a full view. Look at that. Ha! That is my wedding cape in all of its relaxed glory. Jeez. I did a lot of knitting, didn't I? As I had suspected, nay, feared, The neckline has stretched by blocking quite a bit. A ridiculous amount, actually. This is not going to work. However, all the rest also stretched, and oh yeah, we got an elvish swoosh, and we have taken the Christmas tree with us. The relaxed stitches make for a much more elegant cloak. It looks less frumpy, but we have to do something about that neckline. I have some white bias tape. I'm going to try and see if anchoring the stitches closer together to something that will not stretch as much might help. That's my first plan. That's plan A of remedying this. I've got some other plans, but let's start with plan A. Now, for those that wonder why knitting isn't plan A, that's because this is all the yarn that I have left. It was a tight game of yarn chicken. If you are a chaos crafter, a chaotic goblin like I am, you have to be pretty good at problem solving for the problems that you will inevitably create yourself. But I think I managed pretty well. Yeah, what do you think? That neckline looks pretty decent right now. Boom! So does this entire cape. Of course, this is not the wedding ensemble, so it's not the full effect. But I am already feeling like a magical fairy princess goblin witchy fantasy queen, you know? All the things that you kind of want to feel when you're getting married. Don't worry though, this isn't the dress. This is just a dress that I got at the thrift store for €5 for the civil wedding. I don't like it though. It has a little bit medieval vibes, you know. That will just fit the cape. This is also why I'm just, you know, dressing on myself here in my bathroom. It's just a civil wedding. It's not the big wedding. That will follow next week, but will not be featured in this video because I will not have time to edit this between, you know, the wedding and the honeymoon. So this is why I'm taking you along on the civil wedding instead. Capey cape.